Hello everyone, welcome back to Citizen Sleeper. At the end of the last session we found the key to making our own stabilizer, which Rico is now working on, and now we're going to go talk to Feng because we hacked the planet, man. We got some juicy evidence on Hardin, and now he's selling out the eye, and we spread it out to everyone, all of their data pads and all of that. So let's see what Feng's got to say. Oh, I'm pleased about this one. Feng grins at you as the bay door slides open. Above, in the rest of the building, people are busy, frightened. They speak in hushed tones and organise endless meeting after endless meeting. Havanage have avoided a full-blown crisis for now, but change is coming. Feng is in good spirits and bundles you inside before you even have the chance to greet him. That was the slickest operation this station has seen! He hugs you firmly. You made my job easy. He shakes you by the shoulders. I'm so proud. Oh, look at the little ship. Looks like it's just smacked into the building. Kinda. Loving the animation on that. And, he smiles, I got to watch through the cameras as the Havanage security that weren't in on it assaulted the station. Feng smiled. One of them straight up just whacked Hardin with their pistol. It was beautiful. They have him, or what are they going to do with him? I'm going to say what are they going to do with him. I'm not sure anyone knows, but he is cooperating. He's cooperating in dismantling his operation and scaring off Conway. Maybe they'll exile him when they're done, or hand him over to some core authority. Feng shrugs. Now I know he won't be an issue. I'm going to be focusing on systems for a bit. He shakes his head, seeing as that's my actual job. He points to the ceiling. The people upstairs weren't so happy though. They've been fielding questions about the state of the eye right and left since the recording got out. People are scared. Is it true? Is what true? Oh, I'm going to ask, is it true? Feng looks at you directly. Not if we don't want it to be. He touches a stack of hardware. The eye is old and it was never meant to run like this. The master control points that Erlin and Havanage installed, they keep it spinning from the rim. That isn't ideal. But if you're asking me if the eye will stop spinning next cycle, no. He smiles. And me and a ton of other skilled people will be working to stop it happening in the cycle after that. Oh, of course, they're talking about the technical kind of operation of the eye itself, how it appears to be motored from the centre. I feel like momentum and inertia, sort of rules of physics, mean it would just keep spinning regardless of what they do. But unless there are kind of engineering countermeasures to that. I'm sure we'll find out. Hardin's problem was that he didn't believe in people. He believed in systems and their ability to shape the world around them. Feng squeezes your shoulder. But as far as I'm concerned, people should be the ones running the systems, not the other way around. He's got a good point. As long as you have people, you can usually solve any problem. Anyway, Feng raps on the side of his terminal. I know you didn't come down here for a lecture. My tracker. I haven't forgotten. He produces a thumbnail drive. I managed to finish that code solution I showed you. It's a modified Ripper worm, one made to deactivate that tracker of yours. But in the time since I got back, I added something extra. That tracker of yours doesn't just show SNR where you are. It transmits data about the state of your body, your current condition. Oh, are we going to fake my death? My worm won't just deactivate it. It'll edit that data to tell SNR your body is irreparably damaged. DNR, do not retrieve. He grins widely. Pretty smart, right? That's perfect. Just slot it already. You take the drive and hold it in your hand. Then you close your eyes and open up your access ports. Take down your defences. We're really trusting Feng here, but I think we can. The worm immediately enters your closed network. It whips through it, taking things with it as it goes. The moment they are gone, you forget they were ever there. They just blink out of existence. A second later, it's done. You open your eyes. How do you feel? Asks Feng, a little nervously. I got tired, the same, or free. Well, me physically sitting here right now, Adam, having played through this at quite a pace, I'm going to say free, definitely. Feng smiles widely. Well, you are free, Sleeper. He claps you on the shoulder. Feng lets the word free hang in the air a little before he continues. Seems like it might be finally time for a celebration. Feng wraps his arms around you. Jenna still owes us those drinks. He laughs and you join him, and later when you leave you feel deeply thankful for having such a friend. Ah. As you walk away from the building, you look up at that wide curve of the eye, up at the hub and the other rim beyond it. The whole thing twinkles with lights, and it seems impossible to see. Excuse me. It seems impossible to see it as anything other than breathtakingly beautiful. It feels, in that moment, like something eternal. That doesn't mean it can, or even should, last forever, or that it will never change, fade or decay. It simply means that in this moment, this place has a future, and it is one that you know, deeply and truly, is worth protecting. Yay, upgrade point! We completed Feng's Drive. So that was... where is it? You can probably see it and I can't find it. Disable your tracker. Oh, it's in alphabetical order. Here we go. With your tracker disabled, SNARP will no longer be able to send bounty hunters after you. You are free. Wow, that's so cool. Okay, let's see what upgrades we got here. 3 points. So I think I'm gonna... what have I got here? Intuit, Engage, Endure. Interface is already on +2. I think I'm going to go with Engage on +2. Cool. Alright, so that's all done. Expose Yannick. Let's toggle this one because that's in this area. If Sabine is right, Yannick has been working with SNARP behind Yatagan's back. Time to find out the truth. We need to speak to Rabia, and I don't know if that's available yet. No, it's still got 3 days to go. Right, plant the seed and let it grow. That's also done. So what we're going to do is untrack everything. Go to sleep. Just go to sleep here. I'm going to feed the cat. I'm going to use some scrap to self-repair so that I don't lose my 4 dice. And I'm actually going to go ahead and buy another... Oh, I can't buy any stabilizer. Is that because I've exposed yet again? Okay, fine. This is fine. I've got 2 stabilizers, so I'm all good for the moment. I suppose buying it from Yatagan has been replaced by getting it from Rico, maybe, when she's finished doing her thing. So let's sleep. Alright, so we've got 5 dice. We're starving, so let's go to Memphis and get some food. I feel bad that we get a discount from Memphis. I kind of want to pay him full price. So he's our buddy. Nice. Okay, so actually we've got a ship here, so let's do some work on the ship, see if we can get some cool stuff. So let's buy some scrap. Nice. Ship mine fragment there. Some random scrap, and then let's buy another one. I feel like if I can get another ship mined, I don't know what happens in the DLC section after the end of the game, so maybe a ship mine will come in useful. Right, that's my scrap allowance used up. Let's have a look around at some other stuff that I can possibly do. We'll start at the bottom here and we'll work our way through the entire system. So I can sell ship mine fragments so I can get money for Yatagan data. The Helion crossing is not in yet. The bar is just for food. Oh, Overlook regular. The Overlook isn't exactly a restaurant, meaning the only way you'll gain trust around here is with a stiff drink. Let's get a drink. And even though I'll be on full energy... Oh no, it won't be. That's fine. It only gives me 1. Let's see what we get from Overlook regular. Maybe something I missed at the beginning. Which is pretty cool. And after that I might go just gather up some mushrooms. overlook. The glass shatters on the steel bar beside you, and the taunts don't take long to follow. "Hey, Horn!" the spacer calls across the low room. "What are you doing here?" He laughs at his own lame joke. "Playing human?" Shout back. Have some banter. You spin back off your stool, scrambling for words. A hand falls on your shoulder, but as you flinch away it pats reassuringly. You freeze in place. Tala, owner of the Overlook. "Out!" the voice comes from behind you. I'm going to go with like a Spanish kind of voice for this person. She's got some hecker arms on her. I wouldn't mess with her. Look at them. You punch through a tree with those. She's got a kind of a black-haired mullet. She looks like she maybe has, I want to say, like an Eastern European look to her, but with kind of olive skin, so like Hungarian maybe. But I'm going to go with the Spanish kind of sound. "Out!" The voice comes from behind you, spat like a shot. You turn to see bright eyes, dark hair, a stare that could breach the wall and vent you all into hard vacuum. As you turn back to the spacer, the second glass comes sailing through the air. I'm going to catch it. You reach up a hand and the glass shatters across your forearm, showering you in fragments. Me in real life, this has happened to me, and I ended up with stitches. A glass breaking on your body really can do some serious damage. Through the haze of glass and Girol vapour, you see Tala leap the bar and close the distance to the spacer. The thud as he slams into the wall echoes around the bar like thunder. It's quite funny that this is happening to us after we've literally saved them all. Now flanked by other figures, quick to their feet, Tala throws the spacer out through the door and stands silhouetted against the rotunda lights. You touch your arm and it feels wet. Someone helps you to your feet and back onto your stool. Broken glass rattles as it is cleared, and a fresh measure of Girol is glugged out in front of you. That same hand, warm, heavy, falls on your shoulder once more. "He isn't coming back. We don't tolerate that kind of shit here." Oh, it sounds French. Okay, French it is. Tala. Tala flops onto the stool beside you. "Let's get a look at you." Tala wipes the powdered glass from around the wound, and someone places a bottle of alcohol in a metal tin with tweezers on the bar. She disinfects them and then turns to you. "That was an ambitious catch," she smiles, pulling a sliver of glass from your forearm. "Stupid, but ambitious." You don't feel the pain, only the string of status messages your body delivers concerning dermal damage and exposed structures. You do feel the care, though, as Tala's bright eyes search your thick synthetic skin for splinters. We're going to watch her? Tala works with the skill of someone who has had to pick glass splinters from the skin of a stranger before. She hones in on each bright shard, all the time tapping the tweezer tips in little rhythms that only she can follow. Tala smiles to herself. "So, you been on the eye long?" "Long enough." She laughs. "Hey, you don't need to act tough with me." A splinter clinks into the tin. "Not everyone is like that, idiot. We don't all hate you." She glances around. "Some of the regulars, maybe they fear you, maybe they're just curious. I don't know. But I do know that the Overlook is a safe place. I know what it's like to be new in this place, trust me." She meets your eye. "I'm not trying to convince you of anything or separate you from your chits. I just want you to know that if you need somewhere, you can always come here. I know the rations we've got aren't much and the company is," she leans in, "limited. But if you need work, I'll happily put you behind the bar. If you need shelter, well, we can discuss that. You'll be safe. I usually have Francis on the door, but he's up in the Greenway this cycle, haggling with our supplier. Francis tends to be particular about what we serve, even if the clientele is not." She places her tweezers in the tin with a clink. "Is that you, Sleeper? Here." She slides a glass of Girol towards you. "This'll help." She stops, her hand still on the glass. "Wait, does this help? I mean, can you get drunk?" I actually don't know if we process alcohol and get drunk, but I'll try no idea. She laughs. "Well, keep trying. I'll let you know if I see any difference." She walks back around the bar, gathering the glasses as she does, and before long is retelling how she threw that spacer out to a new group that just wandered in, complete with dramatic actions. She gestures in your direction and you instinctively look away, back to the worn surface of the bar. You take a sip of the Girol. The earthy fungal tones fill your senses, almost blocking out sight and sound, like diving headfirst into a bog. You may not be able to get drunk, but this connection to something grown, something fermented, something old, feels good. Also, we can't get drunk. Alright, let's see what we can do here then. It might just be basic work. So, bar shift. Tala is as good as her word and happy to throw a shift or two your way. The pay isn't great, but tips can make all the difference. Buy rations. Tala keeps some expired Solheim rations behind the bar for those weary spaces who ask why the Overlook doesn't serve food. Cool, well, we're on full energy, so let's put some work into the bar shift and see what it unlocks for us. I get +2 on engage, which is pretty good. We don't have a drive for this, so it might just be... maybe it unlocks a drive once we've gained her trust, something like that. Cool, I'm going to try the 3, see how that goes. Huh, okay. And let's re-roll this one. Cool, 6. Good service. The Overlook clientele can be a tough crowd, but you have Tala's backing and that means a lot. So we've maxed that out. Tala. The Girol slides from the bottle into the lumpy recycled glass, a pale grassy yellow under the Overlook's warm lights. The spacer nods and takes the drink, bringing it up to their face in both hands like an offering bowl. This is the good stuff. The stuff Tala says is aged in wooden casks, stored in some closed-off part of the old station, among corroded wires and softly looping systems, though sometimes it's hard to tell if Tala is joking. Either way you like pouring this stuff, it gets on your fingers, and if you rub them together you can smell the mossy drink, cut through with aniseed, mushrooms, wood, as the alcohol evaporates. You like those who order it too. The aged Girol is kept beneath the bar, open to order only by those who know it's there, like the quiet spacer sitting at the bar right now. I'm just going to watch the spacer. I'm going to busy myself, I think. You pull a rag from your overalls and wipe down the bar, the Girol smell lifting then disappearing into the stale station air. The Overlook is quiet this cycle, the salvage is busy offloading, the regulars likely at the Ort Exchange or queuing for work at the Havanah shipyards. You're in the right mood for a quiet shift. Some cycles drag along, the Overlook empty and claustrophobic, but this one has caught you just right, and in this moment some kind of calm has descended as you tinker away at the bar, lining up the bottles as your thoughts expand to fill the space. Suddenly you hear a heavy clunking at the door. It creaks open and a huge cylindrical metal tank tumbles through, slamming into the floor. Shit! Tala breezes in from behind, a whirl of hair and bright eyes. Shit, shit, shit! I'm going to say Tala? Sleeper! She ducks behind the bar and comes over. Can you help me with this? She looks at the huge metal tank suspiciously. I'm coming. You come around the bar and get to one side of the tank. Okay, says Tala. On my count. 1, 2, 3. You both heave the tank up to standing, somehow. You hold it in place, struggling to keep it steady. Tala? In the back, comes a voice from behind the tank. Somehow you manage to lug the huge thing into the back room, where you place it in one corner, dwarfing the rest of the contents in the cramped space. As you do, you hear a crunch. Oh no, we've killed Tala! You stand back and look at the expired rations oozing out from under the tank. Oh shit. Tala looks at you apologetically. I know you liked those. I'm going to say good riddance. Tala smiles. Oh good, I thought maybe liking expired rations was some kind of sleeper thing. You push the crushed rations to one side. That's the end of that. Tala looks exhausted and rubs her shoulders. Francis, I swear to... Francis? Francis, I mentioned him already. My guy on the door deals with suppliers. Toll. He sighs. He was supposed to be back from Etienne's up in the Greenway by now, back with our Girol. She leans against the tank. It seems like he got lost again, or joined the Haifa commune. We need that Girol. There's 4 other bars near here, and the spacers sure as hell don't come to the Overlook for the ambience. She looks through the open door to check if anyone can hear her. She knocks on the hollow tank. So I'm taking matters into my own hands. She smiles. Welcome, sleeper, to the Overlook Distillery. You look around the dank back room. I'm going to say needs some work. I feel like I would say, oh, it looks great, or full of potential, or something like that. But we're going to say needs some work. She picks at some paint flaking from the metal walls. Well, I might need some help, though. She shrugs. You up for it? She knocks on the tank again. Could be fun. Happy to help. Okay, she grabs you by the shoulders. I'm excited. She turns around and looks at the tank. I reckon we chop this thing in half. One half for fermentation, the other we turn into a still. We also need to gather the ingredients. I have a lot of mushrooms already, so hopefully. She turns back and looks at you. You look more like a chopper than a gatherer. So how about you build the still and tub while I work on the rest? Oh wait, Sleeper, I have an idea. Tala is grinning now and is making you nervous. To make up for the rations, how about we put a kitchen in here too? Will it fit? We'll make it work. She turns back to the tank. This is going to be great, she says to herself. You look at the dented tank and the bare room. At least she has vision. Tala nudges you out of the back room and closes the door. As you go back to the bar, you hear the banging and thumping begin. The Spacer finishes up their drink and nods in your direction as they leave. You can't quite tell if it's a gesture of sympathy or good luck. So much for a quiet shift. New drive. So, improve the Overlook. Tala wants to build a distillery in the back room of the Overlook, and Tala is someone it's hard to say no to. Cool. Well, let's go do that while we're waiting on that other stuff to come off. So we need to build the still. So I can do a bar shift, which doesn't have any kind of positive outlook on this, so let's just build the still. I don't have any dice at the moment, so I'll have to go to bed. This is here, though. Oh, I've used my scrap allowance. Okay, fine. I've got a lot of money. Alright, well, let's go to bed in the container. And let's put a scrap component in here. Just as long as I can avoid using my stabilizer, really, is kind of the logic there. Okay, end cycle. I've got to say, it is a relief going to bed and not being hunted by bounty hunters, so, yeah. Okay, we've got some pretty low rolls, so I'll probably do a re-roll after I've used the 3. Alright, let's build the still. You aren't sure Tala knows what she's doing, but she is a hard person to say no to, so it looks like you're building this thing. Tala comes to help you for a bit and chats to you about her plans for the Overlook. A second pair of hands makes the work go easier. Oh, I've got a random scrap item. That's cool. I can repair my condition with that. Right, let's re-roll these 3. Excellent. There we go. Cool, so we're halfway done on the distillery. Let's try this one. We might get a 1er, we might get nothing. No, we just got tired. That's okay, so she's not selling the rations anymore, so we'll have to go to Memphis and eat some of those yummy mushrooms, which I'm absolutely fine with. You do sort of feel a sense of connection to the quests you've completed when you go back and kind of use their services and that sort of thing. Now, so Rabia's got 1 more day. I think Rico might have 1 more day as well. So let's get over there. Just check. So the seed is growing in the aviary. So that's what's got 1 more day. But Rico's actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's quite a while before that's ready. As long as I keep repairing myself with scrap, I should be fine. Okay, let's get back to the Overlook. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Scrap repair. Cool. End cycle. I went back to the Overlook thinking I'd been to bed already. Cool. Right, nice set of rolls there. So let's drop this one in. I think we should get this completed, actually. Then I imagine we'll have to give her some mushrooms. It's nice having a pocket full of money as well. Cool, and then this one. Excellent. No, not excellent. Oh no, we just lost energy. Right, let's hang on to this 6, and then I'll use this 3, and hopefully this will get me through it. Alright, we've done it. And we got a random scrap item. That's good. And I've got a 6 in the bank, which is also good. Okay, let's talk to Tala. Tala stands back from the newly finished still and tub, hands on hips. Look at this, she grins. The overlooked distillery in all its glory. She squeezes you around the shoulders. Thank you. How's sourcing ingredients? Here we go. Tala smiles. I think we got most of it covered between the food factories in the low end and the farm stacks on the Greenway. However, she pauses, there is an issue. Tell me. Well, Girol the drink, as you probably guessed, is named after Girol the mushroom. That's what gives it that golden colour and earthy taste. The alcohol is infused with the mushrooms, along with a mix of spices. Well, that means you need Girol caps to make Girol, but no one wants to supply us. The distilleries on the Greenway are taking all the stock from the farms out there, so it's hard to get a single cap across Founder's Gap. However, I have an idea. She smiles. We can grow our Girol caps here. She gestures at the increasingly equipment-filled back room. I can bring you mushrooms. Tala gives you a pitying look. Where's your vision? Any outside supplier means they take a cut. Okay, maybe not you, but someone somewhere takes a cut. Tala puts a hand on the still. We made a still, we set all this up. How hard can it growing mushrooms be? They don't need light, they barely need soil. We can do this. She pauses. Or at least we could if we had something to grow them from. Like spores? Exactly. Suddenly you feel like you've walked into a trap, and you are the perfect person to get me those spores. She nods rapidly. Think about it. You built the still, you are great with plants, you know the eye like the back of your hand. Need I go on? Are you flattering me? If it's working, then yes. She grins sheepishly. Is my sleeper being hit on here? Look, I can't leave the bar, and the other people picking up shifts, she grimaces. I'm saying it has to be you. No, we aren't being hit on. I think she's just very enthusiastic about her project. Fine, I say. Well, it sounds like I'm reluctant, but I'm really keen to help her out, so... Wonderful. You'll love it on the Greenway, I think. All that fresh air, open space. She sees your expression. Okay, I'm done. She turns back to look at the still and the fledgling distillery forming around it. It really is something though, isn't it? And want to or not, you really have to agree. I don't know why I did the accent for that bit. So what we got to bring her? Spores. Tala wants to set up a mushroom farm to feed the distillery. All she needs from you are spores to start it off. The mushroom farm will make the back room of the overlook into a miniature Girol factory. Okay, well let's go over to the Greenway and we'll get some spores. Oh, and Rabia's ready to talk as well. Let's get the spores first. Oh, the aviary thing has grown. Okay. Collect spores. So yeah, that seed, is it like a data seed or? Let's go have a look. Okay, oh wait, what? I thought this is where I planted that seed. Okay, so maybe the seed grows mushrooms, which makes sense. For some reason I was thinking it would be a tree. I think because the gardener, or gardener as they're called, looks like a tree. That's probably what my logic was. So we'll have to do that tomorrow. Let's go. Put these spores in. There you go. Okay, we need a couple more. Right, so let's go talk to Rabia and then we'll turn in for the night. There's Rabia. She's not looking happy. Even before you enter the office, you can hear the sound of Rabia working the heavy bag. She's hammering it, the chain creaking as it shakes with each hit. She's been like this since... Sabine doesn't finish the sentence. They're sitting on a stool looking at the terminal in the corner. Searching through the SNARP data, you pulled all those cycles ago. Is she okay? Just angry, we all are, but you have to remember she knew Yannick for a long time. Sabine glances nervously at Rabia. What SNARP did... Rabia stops punching, and in the silence you can hear her breathing hard. Sabine looks over at her, and you sense something between them. You realise you haven't seen them together since they tried to kill each other in this same unit. A lot has changed since then. They hooked him up like a puppet. Rabia hits the bed. Rig that thing in his head so they could control him. Pushed the old Yannick out. I don't know why he let them in. Rabia throws a few more punches. But it's a lesson. Don't let them in. Another flurry. Yatagan shouldn't deal with corporate. I'm stuck in French. I can't get into German in my head. That's interesting. Hang on, I need to do a test. This is not from the text. Bit of behind the scenes stuff. Are we allowed in here mit our shoes on? Okay, that is my now long past grandmother with a sentence that's logged in my mind as how to get into the German accent. I don't know why he let them in. See, it works. Rabia throws a few more punches, but it's a lesson. Don't let them in. Another flurry. Yatagan shouldn't deal with corporations, and we never will again. She spits. She comes away from the bag. At least Yannick's death has been treated as natural. There's a chance we can come back from this. That Yatagan can't hold on. But there are opportunists trying to take control. Sabine turns to you. Yes, but now the connection has been broken. I've been looking at removing the trackers from the implants in Yatagan's enforcers. It's a significant job, but I think, with time, I can do the surgeries. Rabia walks away from the bag towards the far side of the unit. Those surgeries will never happen if Yatagan collapses. She shouts back at Sabine. Clearly this is a well-worn argument in this unit. Will Yatagan really collapse? I don't think so. Rabia doesn't either. They look over at her. At least not when she's calm. What I understand now is that Yatagan can be something if we want it to be. Coming here from SNARP, from the core worlds, all I saw was a gang. And with Yannick keeping me on a tight leash... They shudder. Rabia believes, and I want that belief. They look unsure. I also want to be done with SNARP, but I doubt they are done with me. They glance away, rubbing their shoulders. Are you and Rabia dating? Sabine fixes you with a look. Yes, Sleeper, isn't that obvious? I mean, I know Sabine is a fully qualified doctor, and they are a they, so they could be male, female, or simply be a sleeper and not have a gender of any kind, or a biological sex of any kind. However, this character model straight up looks like a child, so, I don't know, bit odd. Sabine fixes you with a look. Yes, Sleeper, isn't that obvious? They smile. I've been wanting to say, Sabine begins nervously, I'm sorry that I didn't tell you where I came from. I know I've apologised before, but I want to again. They pause. Properly. When I leaked the data on the Sleeper program, it was to try to help people, like you. They grit their teeth. But after all the cycles here, being pushed down, pushed around, trying to survive, all that got away from me. So when you turned up, they sigh, it shook me up. They run a hand through their hair. But I ended up here, so... And they look at Rabia. Oh, of course. They reach into a pocket and take out a handful of vials. These are the last of the case. You can have them. They drop them into your hands. After these last few, I don't know what we can do. With the SNARP connection broken... They look down. But I know there are other ways. Repairs, other pharmaceuticals. I even heard there are some labs out on the Greenway. Perhaps they can help? Way ahead of you, Sabine. They meet your eye. I'm sorry I can't do more. I'm going to say thank you for everything. This poor person has been working hard for other people for a long time. And I think a lot of us can relate to that. They look away, their eyes bright with tears. Well, let's quickly track this drive. Rabia crosses back to you both and sits beside Sabine. They look at each other, and you can't help but smile at the idea of them together. Yes, the miserable, violent woman and the person who straight up looks like a child. Can't help but smile. What are you two plotting? Rabia grins. Sound Italian now. Well, I've really lost that German accent. Siamath, I'm sorry. Sabine laughs, and the sound is a welcome one. You watch the two of them teasing each other and smile. Later, when you leave, you take that handful of vials out of your pocket and look at them. You can still feel that core of anger deep down inside, and you don't know if it will ever leave. But Essenarp doesn't own you anymore. They can't, because this place, these people, own you. They are what makes you get up every cycle. They are what keeps you breathing. You put the vials away and walk through the low end, your senses tuned to every sight, every smell, every sound, soaking it all in, living. This is very beautiful. However, me personally, as my playthrough, I certainly feel more connected to the Greenway and Rico. It's probably one of my favourite characters and the whole storyline there. So, but I kind of see where they're going. Okay, so we've got a little upgrade point which we can't do anything with just now. So we're out of dice. I'm keen to kind of follow up on this one here, but I do want to extract the mushrooms over on the Greenway. So let's kind of base ourselves in the Greenway, and we'll just do both at the same time while we're waiting for Rico's thing to come in. Sleep in the dorm. Do a bit of scrap repair. Let's just have a look at... Yannick is dead, but Yatagan is trying to deal with the aftermath. But Sabine and perhaps Rabia can see a path forward together. And that's that one done. Okay, we're going to end cycle there. I probably should have eaten because this is going to put me on starving now. Okay, so we've got some really low rolls here, so let's go and see how hard it is to get the mushrooms. I don't want to waste this. I want the rare mushrooms. So let's get some higher dice. Yeah, we go. I'm a little bit confused about what was special about that seed then. Club head caps, Girol caps, Matsutakes. Okay, maybe I missed something. In which case, let's get some. Let's spend some of this on getting spores instead. All right. So that's the 2 spores that we need. No, it's not. We got a neutral result there. We've got a negative result there, and let's just try this one. A bit of a washout day. Energy, great. Okay, so I'm going to have to go. Back to bed. Let's do a scrap repair. Cool, end cycle. Hopefully we'll get a better set of rolls this time. Yeah, that's more like it. That's what I'm talking about. So first we'll get the spores. And I actually want... Oh, was I putting them in the wrong one? Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what was going on there. Right, let's get the spores. Cool, and that gives me a set to plant again once I empty this lot. So let's do that as well. 2 random rare mushrooms. Yeah, I must have had a brain glitch then and was putting the dice yesterday in the wrong place. And let's see if we can get some rare mushrooms here. Excellent. Our stock of mushrooms is really high, which is great. And let's go back in here and plant another bunch. In fact, I forgot it takes 3, doesn't it? So, see if we can get some more. Oh, I put it in the wrong one. I did it again. There's something, a kind of like a right side of the screen bias when you're doing this. It's very strange psychology. I think also this is my first record of the day, so my brain's a bit slow, a bit not so much in the citizen sleeper mindset maybe. Anyway, let's pop 2 in there, and then pop 1 in there, and then the remaining 2 we'll take down to Tala. So we'll do that now. And I guess this just means I can grow mushrooms wherever I want, more or less how that's set up. At least I've got lots of mushrooms by putting the dice in the wrong place there. Cool. Excellent. Right, so that's that done. Now, how long is it going to take her? First batch. Tala has locked herself away in the back room while she focuses on the distilling. She won't let anyone in or out. Okay. I can't get any more scrap. So that's underway, and the next thing is going to be Rico tomorrow. So let's go over here and we'll sleep in the dorm again. It's funny, now we've earned our place in the dorm, we don't do any work on the farm at all. Let's end cycle. I think we'll wake up with only 4 dice, but that's fine. Yeah. Oh, it's Moritz. Haha, hello. Sleeper, long time. Moritz is smiling at you when you leave. Clearly happy to see you again. Moritz, good to see you. Same. He rubs his hands on his jacket. How you been? Working hard. Yes, I have. I bet, he grins. Well, you're always welcome to hang out at the bay if you want. He glances around. Actually, that's what I'm here about. I know Bliss said she didn't want to take any more big jobs, but she's changed her mind or something. He grins. Because now we have someone looking for a refit of their ship in our bay. You would not believe it. They want their entire ship disarmed, cutting out defence arrays, weapon lockers, ship-to-ship countermeasures, the whole lot. I'm wondering if this is Ankita. He leans in. We'll be able to start an arms dealership with all the hardware we'll have up there when we're done. He laughs. Anyway, it's a massive job and we need some hands. Bliss said to go get you. So come on up. Bliss is waiting on you to accept the job. He pauses. It'll be good to have you up there again. Like old times. Yeah, man. I'm keen to go help Bliss. So, Rico isn't actually ready. So, I think I'm just going to grab another set of spores from this left-hand side. Flipping heck. Can't believe I did that twice. Okay, and let's go plant these ones. And then we'll go up and talk to Bliss. I've got tons of stabilizer, tons of mushrooms. And I'm going to need some mushrooms as well to initiate the DLC as well. Now, because I failed Bliss before, or when I played this game before, I didn't get this quest line because Bliss went out of business. So I don't know what this is, which is great. Oh, let's buy this house as well. Rent a capsule. You hand over the chits and get a passkey for capsule 0451. Time to find which of the identical berths is yours. Oh, look, they're like literally little sleepy capsules. That's cool. Okay, Bliss. When you enter the bay, it's weirdly quiet. Moritz must be out on some errand, and maybe Bliss is prepping the kit. Oh no, it is Ankita. I guessed right. And there's the ambergris. Look. Sleeper. Ankita is drifting at one side of the bay. You missed her completely when you came in. Excuse me. Bless me. Thank me. The idea of not seeing Ankita when you entered a room would have seemed unlikely to you several cycles ago, but seeing her without her armour, she seems smaller, less imposing. She's still got a bit of armour here, look. And she's still got that plaster on her face, so... Obviously whatever it is hasn't healed yet. Unless it's a fashion thing on the eye. Now I was being not nice to her, so I'm gonna just say, what are you doing here? Because she did kill those people. And one of them was a sleeper, so ostensibly we don't really like her. I was about to ask you the same thing. She kicks off from the wall and comes a little closer. I want to say to her, thanks for all the money, I've been spending it on food. So what is this? She asks. Come to avenge Ashton or his sleeper, or just looking for another payout? Her anger is familiar, but quieter than before. Restrained. Don't start, I'm going to say. Start what? You are the one following me up here. She looks away, and you can tell her anger isn't directed at you in particular. It radiates off her like fire. Well, actually, technically, Ankita, you're in my repair bay, so... You better be ready to sign, comes a shout from the bay entrance, because I've got my best repair tech coming up here especially, and they're going to... Bliss glides in and suddenly stops herself when she sees you and Ankita standing off. Oh, Sleeper, you're already here. Miss Cassetta, this is the tech I was telling you about. Best on the... She stops, looking between the two of you. Wait, do you two know each other? You and Ankita look at each other. She's a killer. Yeah, man. Sleeper? Bliss pulls you aside. She's a merc, Bliss whispers. I assume she was a killer, but I need to land this job. She pulls you back to Ankita. Bliss produces a slate. Now, Miss Cassetta, if you'd like to sign our damage waiver here, we can start on the decommissioning. She looks at you. My tech here is eager to get started, as am I. Ankita scrawls her signature across the slate. Thank you, Bliss pauses. And everything is okay with the special payment terms we discussed? She gives Ankita a strange smile. All fine, says Ankita, giving you another hard look. Then she kicks off and drifts to the entrance. I'll be in the gimbal, she says, and leaves. Special payment terms, I'm going to ask? She looks over her glasses at you. Look, Sleeper, there's something I have to tell you. She glances around again. What's she so nervous about? This isn't exactly my typical job. Miss Ankita, she gives you a knowing look, doesn't have the chits to pay us, so we've made a special agreement. She sighs. I'm leaving. Who's saying I'm leaving? Oh, Bliss is leaving. Right, I'm leaving. You're going to join a mercenary crew? Don't make me laugh. Ankita is an ex-merc. Why do you think she's getting us to remove all her ship's armaments? Amber. The ship is called Amber. Oh yeah, because we gave it the ship mind, so we're connected to it. Bliss gives you a funny look. There's some deep history here, huh? She holds up a hand to stop you answering. Look, all I care is that she's heading for the Starward Belt. She looks out of the bay. That's where I'm headed. She turns back to face you. Also, I wanted to ask, she stops, unsure, if you'd like to come with us? Do I want to get in a ship with a murdering psychopath? Not really. I can't. She interrupts before you answer. I know things have been hard for you on the Eye, and you helped me so much. I asked Ankita if she'd carry two of us, and she said yes. Moritz will take over the bay anyway, although if you stay, you're welcome to help him run it. I just thought, she sighs, you might be in need of a fresh start as much as I am. The Eye was my fresh start, Bliss. She turns away nervously. Think about it anyway. The berth is there. We've got to finish the job first anyway. And with that, she kicks away and heads to the racks, before you can offer an answer. Moments later, Moritz enters with a new cutting torch for the disarming of the ambergris. The Starward Belt. You push your thoughts to the back of your mind. Time to get to work. I don't know why the capsule was glowing. Maybe because it was new. The Gimbal Lounge. Do we want to go talk to Ankita? Oh no, we can just buy a meal. Alright, let's have a look at what jobs we can do on the ambergris then. So disarm amber. Ankita wants it all out. Weapons, countermeasures, torpedoes. It would be a risky job if you didn't know amber so well. I think I'd keep the countermeasures in, rather than just bin off everything, but it's not my ship, I guess. So let's start working on amber. Cool. Try this one. Nice, and we'll re-roll. Oh great, a 2. This looks like a kind of a reward mission. Alright, let's just jump in the Gimbal Lounge and buy a meal. It's always funny in video games when it's approaching mealtime in real life and you're buying food for your character, but not for yourself, but not feeding yourself. It's a strange dichotomy. Okay, what was I doing? Okay. Right, so we're going to go to bed. Any scrap to repair myself with? No. In which case I'm actually going to spend a stabilizer now. Just get me up to 5. Because the next cycle, I think I've got 1 or 2 more on the growing of the stabilizer stuff. Cool. Right, a bit of a mixed spread there. I think this will be... Let's use the 3. I think this will be the one. Alright. Working with weapons unsettles you. Have you just ignored all this when you fix the ship? The question bothers you. Once this job is ready, you better be ready to make a fast decision. Stay with Moritz or go with Ankita and Bliss. Moritz. Amber looks better than she ever has before. Bliss has done an incredible job of cleaning up the hull, and despite the exterior changes being limited, she has the impression of being lighter, somehow sleeker than before. Moritz drifts by. He's been loading up the final equipment onto Amber. It turns out Ankita will be taking her weapons, but packed and ready to sell at the first Starward Belt port she hits. But now that Moritz is done, he seems in kind of a daze, floating back and forth aimlessly. You okay, Moritz? What's that? He turns. Oh, right, yeah, packed and stacked. He smiles a weak smile. Was hoping Miss Cassetta would let me keep a warhead. For what? He shrugs. I don't know, just might be a cool thing to have around. Hey, Sleeper, he looks down. Did you know Bliss was leaving? You understand now. She told him. That's why he's like this. I did. He nods distractedly. She said this place is mine. He looks up, around the bay, like it's suddenly some vast space he doesn't know what to do with. Can you manage it? He looks down at you, a glazed look on his face. I don't know. I just don't know. A dark look suddenly crosses his face. Hey, Sleeper, there was something Bliss said. He meets your eye. Are you going too? Before you can answer, Ankita glides into the bay, a massive crate on her shoulder. Sleeper, you coming or what? Bliss is already aboard. She stops by the terminal, holding herself in place. Moritz looks at her with a dazed expression. You look at Ankita. She's keeping it together now. She's packed all those bad feelings down in some place where you'll never see them and built a tough foundation on top. She may not be a mercenary anymore, but you imagine most people would think twice before trying to cross her. Well, she looks at you. I'm not eager to spend another moment of my time on this station unless I have to. She pauses, looking between you and Moritz. She sighs. I'll give you a minute. And she kicks off with the crate, taking it to the end of the bay, where the Amber sits docked. You look back at Moritz. I'm staying. I'm not going with that nutter. Moritz looks at you like he might pass out. Sleeper, are you sure? Are you doing this for me? I'm staying for me, or the bay needs me. Oh, I'd say I'm staying for him, to be honest, but I'm going to say the bay needs me. That's closest to doing it for him. He laughs. Couldn't leave me alone with this place in the end, huh? He laughs again. Ankita comes back across the bay, the final crate stowed. You staying then, Sleeper? I'm staying. She nods. Well, okay then. One less mouth to feed. She pauses. They should really give Moritz the option to go, I think. Look, Sleeper. I'm not going to go back everything that happened. I'm not going to go back over everything that happened, she sighs. I'm trying to put that behind me, but I hope you find what you're looking for here. She smiles and kicks off, gliding to the ambergris and the Starward Belt beyond. You both watch in silence as Amber's drives fire up. "I guess this is our place now," says Moritz, the weight of everything suddenly hitting him. "Your place." He smiles. "Okay, but I'll need some help from time to time." You both stay for a while to watch Amber, and Bliss and Ankita leave. And then Moritz goes to the racks to finally implement a new organisational system, and you head out, promising to be back to check on things soon. I mean, Moritz was the backbone of the Bay. Bliss was a good engineer, but she was terrible at running a business. As you glide around the soft curve of the hub, you catch glimpses of the distant stars flickering through the windows. They are beautiful, it's true, but by now you think of them as a distraction. In your time on the Eye, you've realised there's nothing out there waiting for you. No fresh starts and no bright futures, just a whole load of problems you haven't found yet. No, your place is here, among the people you know and the problems you know. You wish Ankita and Bliss the best of luck out in the belt, but as you do, you focus on the Eye, on the vast spinning rim that rotates around its hub, on its buildings and flashing lights, on its people and places. This is your home, and, for now, it contains all the futures you need. Ah. The fixed stars. Everything can be repaired with enough time and effort. Well, I still had stuff to do, but I guess this is the official ending. This is not the end of the series by any means. I'm going to carry on. I'm going to finish off the missions I had, and then I'm going to move on to doing the DLC. In which case, I think I'll probably skip this and let the credits run at the end of the DLC. So thank you very much, Suzanne Wallace in marketing. But we're going to be coming back to these credits. Loading screen. Interesting. Yeah, so I must have had a different ending when I played it before, because I didn't have the option to go talk to Bliss or anything. A very long loading screen. Cool, Moritz. Next round is yours. Moritz arrives at the table with a couple of steel drink canisters, typical of the hub's only bar, the Gimbal Lounge. He settles into the webbing beside the table and clunks them down onto the magnetic table. This place, you have decided, is ridiculous. A rapidly spinning, cavernous sphere, the gimbal's weak gravity, just like the gravity at the Eye's rim, is created by its gut-wrenching rotation. The interior surface of the sphere is the gimbal's floor, which descends towards the equator, where one long bar loops around the entire circumference. Tumbling out from that central ring are an array of booths and seating arrangements, equipped with all kinds of harnesses and webbing to keep customers in place. Those harnesses are there because the gimbal doesn't quite spin up fast enough, and you watch as the clientele bounce towards the bar in lazy arcs, or shift from table to table with graceful leaps. "What are you thinking?" asks Moritz, noticing you staring out into the gimbal. How weird this place is." Moritz glances around, as if for the first time. "Yeah, Bliss never used to like coming here." Moritz takes a drink and stretches. "So, Sleeper, are you sticking around?" "If you'll have me." Moritz nods. "Of course, I'm going to need help in the bay." Moritz rubs the back of his head. "One cycle at a time, that's how we'll take it, nice and easy." You aren't sure if he's talking to himself or you. "We'll make it." He lifts his drink for a toast. "To the next cycle," he pronounces, and knocks it back. Later, when you finally leave the gimbal, Moritz is still laughing. You help him out of the spinning gimbal and back into the hub, sending him on his way home to the bay. Then you pause for a moment to watch the stars as they spin and spin around the Eye. You smile to yourself and think of Bliss and Ankita out there somewhere among those points of light. To the next cycle. Cool. So I guess before the DLC was released, this was just like a chance to kind of clean everything up, which is what I'm going to do. And then once I've done that, I'll wrap up the episode, and then for the next one, we'll make a start on that DLC stuff. So, I can get money by helping Moritz. The Bay is now taking on low-scale repair contracts. Moritz is happy to offload some work to you. That's cool. But let's go down to the Greenway. So we've got more mushrooms growing. Rico. Okay, so this is ready. This is ready to go. Rico has something in her hands when you enter the lab. It looks like a knotted twist of woody stems, a ring about the circumference of a human head consisting of a single stalk at one side and a branched woven network at the other. As you approach, she holds it up, and in the light of the lab, it looks like a crown. Rico finishes your thought. She smiles and shakes her head in disbelief. Is that what grew? It is. I came to the plant this morning, and this loop was all that was there. She points to a lump on the edge of the ring. The seed grew right back into itself, twisted up out of the soil. That being you encountered, in the cloud, as you call it, was it wearing one of these? She eyes you suspiciously, still unsure if she's somehow embroiled in an overlong prank. It doesn't work like that. She sighs. Perhaps wearing was the wrong word. She places the object on the bench and shuffles to her analysis terminal, her face lit by its amber light in the dim corner of the lab. Well, it isn't exactly a plant anyway, not from what I can tell. She gives you a serious look. No leaves, no chloroplasts, just a series of filaments encased in cellulose walls. How did it grow? It seems the seed contained everything it needed, a self-contained entity, nothing less. She beckons you over. But that isn't the good part. Look at this. You see a cross-section scan of the crown. It's layers of plant-like structure on full view, until you reach the centre. There, instead of xylem and phloem, for transporting nutrients, something branched and woven glints. Are those wires? She laughs. I'm not sure whether to say yes or no here. They're not wires like those in an electrical system. No, but they are filaments of a conductive material, so yes? She leans closer to the screen. But you see those branches? They remind me of dendrites, of neurons. She rubs her eyes, which is frankly ridiculous. You look back at the crown on the table as Rico fusses over the scans, and you suddenly realise what it reminds you of. You remember signing the forms, the walk to the sleeper tanks, the cold metal floor. Then you remember the crown they fitted you with, the branching structure of wires and pads. No, not a crown. They called it an interface. The tool of your emulation, your transference from neurons to electrons. An interface. That is your gift from the gardener. You turn back to Rico. It's an interface. Rico looks at you, puzzled. Something clicks in her mind. Perhaps something she heard from the sleeper she had helped all those cycles ago. She starts talking, partly to you, partly to herself. If the club heads were made for you, then this too could be made for you, for your frame. She shuffles over quickly to the interface, a word that has stuck to this strange branch object quickly in your mind. You're right. That entity, it is the entity I've been looking for. She shuffles quickly to the crown. They are the entity which is controlling the Greenway, which has been maintaining it, supporting it, and it's been guiding for all these decades. She stops to catch her breath. They want to talk with you. Rico leads you to a seat. I'll be here, sleeper. If something happens, if you wish me to remove the crown, the interface, just squeeze. She grips your hand tightly. You meet her eyes, clouded with age, but bright with the thrill of new discoveries. Then she places the interface on your head, and everything blinks out. Back into the river, back into the dark flow, but something is different now. You're no longer pushed, no longer blocked and buffeted by the storm. Instead it flows around you. You move, and it parts, letting you pass. Letting you pass. Something else resists, but it gives easily enough. You look back and see your body. You've left it behind. Somewhere Rico's voice is talking to you, asking you questions. It is excited, eager, desperate to know what lies on the other side, what the entity has to say to you. You realise how long she has waited for this moment, for the moment of meeting between the inhabitants of the Greenway and its protector, and yet she's still on the outside. You shake off the sadness. You will be her eyes. Then you see the figure, gardener, out in the storm, planting. So he was not wearing a crown, but he's got this halo, like eclipse halo here, light and dark, and then these crystals. It takes less than a moment to reach them. You've never felt so free. This is how Navigator must have felt, released from their prison. This, you think, is what it feels like to be in the place you were built to inhabit. Gardener does not turn at your approach. They go on planting, but their voice whispers in the waters like a sharply rising current. We need a voice. I feel it's going to be John Rhys Davies' Treebeard Ent voice. You grew the gift. Their speech hisses around you. Good. I am glad. I wanted to meet you. Then we are the same, both eager shoots seeking one another. How does it feel to be free of your seed? They stoop to plant again. My seed? That in which you were contained, from which you will grow. There was some disagreement, continues Gardener, as if you were picking up on a long-held conversation. With the others, they felt you were a danger, but they are always cautious, especially the fungi. They like old loam, known knowns, wide and stable networks. The fungi were cautious? Mostly, yes, although there are many among their number who favour short growth cycles, thick nutrient veins, and sudden shifts. He gestures out into the storm, and though you cannot see them, you feel presences all around, sensing this audience with great interest. After all, they understood that it was I who made them their crowns, and without them they would not have joined the chorus, so they see that it is only fair that you get your chance to join too. You made more crowns? I made them all. Gardener moves away a little, looking for another planting spot. It was so lonely here, but before long I found them, and began to let them in. Gardener stoops again. We are millions, and we grow. I hope you understand. I am unused to speaking to your kind. It has been many cycles since my last conversation. I think it was with Chief Executive Trellick himself. You look around and you see it. Every growing thing, every non-human being in the Greenway is here. They are networked, connected, branched and linked by this strange being, this artifact of the old station. The impossible dream of a senile farm administration AI, a living network. You could dissolve here, you realise, free of that decaying body. You wouldn't need to be a person. Why would you, among all these other minds? You turn away from Gardener for a moment and look back at your body. A tiny hairline thread connects it to you. You hear Rico's voice again, still asking, still checking in. Are you okay, Sleeper? What are they saying, Sleeper? Are you still there, Sleeper? Something in you sighs a long sigh, a sigh that speaks of an exhaustion beyond tiredness, an exhaustion rooted deep inside you. It stems from the effort of answering questions, of answering problems, of getting up and breathing each cycle. But something else resists the sigh, a yearning, a sense of distance, a desire to squeeze that hand that holds you for its warmth, its blood, its complexity, to make a gesture that says, I'm still here, I'm still alive, I'm with you. The two ideas spin within you, making you nauseous. If you break that thread, you will be free, free to dissolve here, to grow strange and beautiful among a million others. If you follow it, if you squeeze Rico's hand, you will wake up, back in that dying body, with all the pain and warmth that entails. Now is the moment to choose. Okay, so we're going to have some chat from me here, from Adam, the essentially the avatar, or it's my avatar in this world. This is a very philosophical moment for me. Now, of course, what human being doesn't dream of being free from the endless existential dread of everyday life, you know? I certainly have moments where I do, or I wish I could pause time for a couple of days and just recuperate. And, you know, like a lot of people, I occasionally suffer from like a lot of physical pain and worry about money and insomnia and stress and all of that stuff. But there's also a lot of joy in the physical world, you know, going out, using your body, doing things, unexpected occurrences, the kind of chaos that the real world presents you with. And in that chaos is endless scope for opportunity as well from the unknown. And of course, your obligations to, in my case, to, you know, partner, friends, family, children, are kind of a big part of what makes you you and a big part of your identity. So myself, I'm inclined to go for the so if I break the thread, I will be free. Free to dissolve here. If I follow it, if I squeeze Rico's hand, I'll wake up. So I'm inclined to follow the thread and stay in the real world and experience everything it has to offer. From a gameplay point of view, that also means I'll get to go do the DLC, I guess. I don't really know what happens here because I don't think I did this before. Or if I did, I don't remember. So I'm going to follow the thread and I'm going to stay in the real world because the endless joy that stressful existence brings is very important to me as an individual. If you are inclined to break the thread, perhaps you could pick up this game and play it for yourself. Who knows? I'm going to follow the thread. Your eyes track the thread across the whirling dark back to your body. This choice, you realise, will not be presented again. So I can reconsider or I can continue to follow it. I suppose they put this in case you weren't sure what each one was, like I wasn't. Your eyes track the thread across the whirling dark back to your body. This choice, you realise, will not be presented again. I'm going to follow it. You don't look back at Gardener. You don't dare risk it. Instead, you follow the thread delicately, carefully, like a diver following their lifeline back to the surface. The river whirls around you, but it doesn't pull. It isn't jealous. Neither does it understand. It is, after all, just a river. It isn't a person, a flesh and blood person with wants, with desires, with the capacity for love and hate. It doesn't understand you, and you don't understand it. So you don't focus on it. You don't think about it, on what feels like such a long journey back through the dark. You just you set your mind on eyes instead, on hands, things you can focus on, hold on to. And then, after an age of crossing, you are there, settling back into the chair, into a body in a chair, and the overwhelming sensations that come with being a living thing with a rich and detailed sensorium. For a moment you feel like you have made a terrible mistake. Who would choose this weight, this anxiety, this deep well at the centre of existence? But then you feel it, Rico's hand, gripped hard around yours, trembling a little, sweating a little. Rico's hand with its brittle bones and crumpled skin. Rico's hand. And in that moment you understand why you made this choice. And then you squeeze Rico's hand. And you wake up. Warmth and light turn away and follow the thread back home. Well, a Jump Over the Age game, created, designed and written by Gareth Damian Martin. Character art, Guillaume Singelin, amazing. Music and sound, amazing, Amos Roddy. And then the programmers, editorial support, this whole team, everyone at Fellow Traveller, everyone at Jump Over the Age. Just what a fantastic and beautiful job they've done in creating something so unique and special. It kind of reminds me a lot of probably the thing that got me into this style of storytelling, which was adventure game books when I was a kid, where my uncles would sit with me with dice and pencil and kind of go through when I was like 4, and help me by reading the more complicated words and helping me make the decisions whether to fight or what have you. I'm going to be bugging Gareth Damian Martin to allow me to beta test Citizen Sleeper 2 when it comes out. Whether that's successful or not, I guess I'll let you know. And I have actually downloaded and started playing the previous game that he made called In Other Waters, which I will definitely do a series on at some point. But for now, we've played Citizen Sleeper, and what a fantastic ride it's been. There we go, something's loading up. And thank you so much for joining me for this. If you've watched this whole series right through to the end, I really appreciate you working with my character voices and and any feedback I've received from people and encouragement and all of that. It's been very fun to have everyone involved. Okay, here we go. Sleeper? Rico's voice comes wavering through the dark. Are you still with me? You sit up, the lab a bright green glare that fades as you gather yourself. I'm here. Rico smiles. Good. She squeezes your hand. I thought you'd left me for a moment. What? She pauses. Who? She smiles. Tell me about it. Tell me everything. Well, we're definitely going to tell her the truth, because this has been her life's work, essentially. You tell Rico everything. You tell her about the gardener, that strange farm administrator AI that's grown to be so much more, about the chorus, that impossible configuration of networked plants, and finally about the choice the gardener offered you. She listens attentively, but her responses are hard to read, and you wonder if she might have made a different decision had she been in your place. Thank you, Sleeper, for telling me. I know it isn't easy to say such things. People so often do not wish to hear strange truths. She looks away. And thank you for returning to me, although I know you had your own reasons. She squeezes your hand reassuringly. Something passes between you then, a kind of shared sadness for the impossible choice, the choice to escape your body or to stay and suffer it. Her smile is warm and generous, and whatever the wisdom of your choice, you are glad to feel welcome in this moment, this place. Then suddenly she stands and walks a little away, as if trying to escape an unpleasant thought. You worry that she knows all too well what it takes to make a choice like you did. Rico sighs. So, Sleeper, do you plan to stay in the commune with us? For a while. For a while. I'm glad to hear it. Rico crosses back over to you and takes one of your hands in both of hers. Hypha needs new blood if it wants to survive, and... She squeezes. You are a good friend. The feeling is mutual. Well, don't let me keep you. Rico waves you away and limps back to her terminal. As she does, you notice the crown in her hand, and she places it on the bench with great care. You can't help but feel a little curious about what she intends to do with it. Then you are out, breathing the air of the Greenway, fresh as a spring morning. The dappled light makes a patchwork of the greening landscape, and you walk into it, sensing the movements of the gardener's chorus all around. And you are glad to be here, in this strange and beautiful place, a little longer. Ah. So, it looks like Rico might try and get a crown made for herself, perhaps? Is that... Which would be fine. She said, like, you know, she's reaching the end of her life and that kind of thing, so... And it did mention that she's very old. So let's make some stabiliser with our club head caps. I've got 6 stabilisers, that's great. We're growing some more mushrooms. Now, before I wrap this episode up, we're just going to whiz back over to Tala and see how those mushrooms are coming along. First batch. Tala has locked herself away in the back room. Okay, so we've got 4 more cycles there. So I think in light of that, probably just wrap up there and maybe come back to visit Tala another time, because I don't want to do 4 sleeps just for the sake of it. Now we're moving through the wastes up to where the Flux DLC is available. And we pay in girals, and I've got enough. So I think what I'll do is I'll wrap it up there, and I'll start essentially a new series, really. I'll start a separate playlist and all of that where we do the episode Flux and all the other DLC, but I'll also carry it on running from this series. So like I said during the credits, thank you so much for joining me on this journey through Citizen Sleeper. It's been absolutely wonderful to narrate through all the different characters and all of the story and everything, and also, you know, go through, prioritise some things, make mistakes on others. It kind of annoys me that I was left out there, but that's very much in keeping with how Citizen Sleeper is. Like, it never has everything fully properly wrapped up, and I like that about it too, the imperfect nature of it. So if you enjoyed this video and the series, please consider leaving a like on the video, and if you want to join our Discord server and pop over and say hi, you'll find a link to that in the video description. As ever, wherever you are in the world, have a lovely morning or afternoon or evening, and I will see you next time. Goodbye for now.